It's showtime.
Hey people of the interwebs, it's Q with another dive adventure. Sunday morning, 7 o'clock, 17.5 degrees this morning, so a little bit warmer, but that's probably due to the fact that it's overcast today. Might get a few showers later on, but that's not going to affect us because we are going to be getting wet anyway as we blow bubbles at some dive sites on the Sunshine Coast. Today's diving is a bit of a mystery to me, a complete mystery to me, because I don't know who's going to turn up. I don't know what dive site we're diving at. The only thing I do know is there's no kayak on the top of the car this morning because we are definitely not going kayak diving today. So we will do a kayak diving video at some point in the future when the planets align. So I'll see you guys down at the dive shop. So it's just a few minutes before 8 o'clock, Sunday morning. We're at the dive shop and Craig's rocked up this morning. He's going to be diving with us today, and I think we're just about to do a quick coast run before we even load the gear into the car. So we're going to load ourselves up and go and take a look, see what the water looks like. So this is Kings Beach boat ramp, one of our dive site entry points. Just trying to look and see how clean that water is on the surface. Right now it probably looks about 4 to 5 meters visibility. But one of the problems is that when you get down to the bottom, the sediment sort of settles in a layer at the bottom, and the visibility can decline rather rapidly. Anyway, we'll go and check out another site. So this is another dive site. This is Shelley's Beach. We did a dive off here a couple of weeks ago. Problem with this beach, the weather's just got to be absolutely perfect, with the wind coming from the right direction in order to make it a good dive. And those waves that are breaking there, they look quite small from this distance, but when you're down there fully laden with all your gear and the lead, it really can knock you for 6. So the visibility again on the surface here looks about 5 meters, but you never know what's going to be like when you hit the deck. So we're just looking from the headland again down onto the keyhole dive site. Looks as though the wind is not doing us any favors on this dive site today. The water again looks pretty good, 5 meters visibility at least from what I'm looking at here, but I don't think we'll be diving the keyhole today. So here we are at Moffat Beach. This is where we dived yesterday. Conditions look about the same. Winds coming from the correct direction to give us a nice easy surface swim. And the visibility from the surface, again, I'd estimate somewhere around about the 5 meter mark. So I think this might be the dive site of choice for today. Gear up here, head down the ramp, enter the water just here. When you do enter the water at this point here, the way the waves are forming here, it forms a step. So just be careful, because you'll just, all of a sudden it'll just drop off on you. So prepare for that, make sure your BC is inflated as you enter the water. And also when you're coming back out of this water, getting up onto that step with all the weight of the gear on it is challenging sometimes. So what we do is, because if you just stand on that step, it will collapse underneath you with the weight of you and all the gear. So what we do is we get our foot on the step and we wait for one of these waves to come in. And as this wave comes in, it'll lift you up. So at that point you step up with the wave as it carries you forward, and you just keep walking forward, and that'll get you right out of the water in easy time. So generally on this dive site, because it's so shallow in here, we surface swim backwards on our backs, out for around about 150, 200 meters, depending on what it looks like underneath. And generally we'll just head straight out from the ramp, keep an eye on the ramp. We will then arc around over to the back of the surface, and then just line all the way back and come straight back here and exit here and back up. So we're just, by the time we get in the water, it'll be just after high tide.
Yep.
So we're expecting probably somewhere between 6.5, 7.5 meters of depth.
Yep.
Visibility on the surface, as we're looking at it now, estimating about 5 meters of visibility. And we will probably do a 40, 50 minute dive depending on air.
Yep.
Now with your air, if I ask you how much air you've got,
Yep.
and you look at your gauge and you're over 130,
Yep.
you just go, okay, so I'm over 130.
Cool.
All right, so I'm okay.
Yep.
If you are lower than that, our signaling is T for 100,
Yep.
120,
Sure.
110, or 100.
Yep.
When we are out there, let either one of us know if you do get to 100.
Sure.
Because then at that point we'll turn around and start heading home.
Yep.
Okay? Once we're on the heading home stretch, if you are low on air, which is down to 70 bar,
Yep.
just let us know that you're low on air.
Sure.
If you get down to 50 bar, you are out of air,
Yep.
which is usually followed by share air.
Yep.
Or if we're nearly close in, we'll just surface
Yeah.
and swim back on the
back.
surface. Obviously, other signals are we're going up,
Yep.
we're going down.
Yep.
Danger,
Yep.
usually pointing at whatever the
What
danger
it
is.
Yep.
So could be anything.
Should be followed by that, maybe.
It could be followed by that and run away. Yeah.
Address.
While we're out there, Steve will be lead. I'll be on the flag, so I'll be in the rear.
Yep.
You'll be in the middle of both of us.
Yep.
Just try and keep an eye on your buddy, because I say we've only got about 5 meters of visibility. If you do get separated from us,
Yep.
stop right where you are.
Sure.
Wait for 1 minute.
Yep.
Looking around. Once you actually don't look in a straight line like this.
Yep.
Actually look up, because you'll see the bubbles of the diver
Yeah.
up in the sunlight.
Sure.
So that will go, oh yeah, they're over there, and then you can head over there. After 1 minute, if you haven't found us or we haven't found you, you will surface.
Sure.
And look for the flag.
Yep.
Now, if the flag is closer, you go to the flag and you tug on the flag
Yep.
to let me know that, oh, he's up there.
He's there,
We
yeah.
will stop and wait for you to descend down the flag line. If the flag is further away and you're closer to the shore, you come back to the shore.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
Things we'll probably see out here today, maybe some painted greys. We occasionally see wobbegongs,
Yeah.
lots of little small juvenile fish, and just generally small fish in the area. Very rare will we see bigger fish here. Occasionally we see lemon sharks out here.
Oh, yeah?
Nice little guys like this.
Yeah.
But generally, it's a nice, easy tour around here.
Cool.
So, any
Just what I'm
questions?
looking for. No, no, pretty well covered. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, let's gear up and get it on.
We descended into 6 meters of water, but just a couple of meters below the surface, I could tell the visibility on the deck was shot to hell. Overnight, a massive red weed had invaded the bay, and at the bottom, visibility was down to around 1.5 meters. Dive lead indicated to me that the heading was 60 degrees. And then I stopped briefly to tie off the flag line, and then when I looked up, I couldn't see my buddies. I checked my compass and began swimming on a heading of 60 degrees, hoping to catch up. After a minute or so, I decided to surface and look for air bubbles. And already in that short space of time with a viz like that, I've lost them, so I'd hit the surface. There's some air bubbles over there. I spotted the bubbles on the surface and decided to swim over to them. I knew that Steve would eventually figure out I wasn't following behind and stop. That would allow me to catch up with them and then drop down on them. Problem was, Steve was looking behind him and I dropped down in front of him. So as I'm dropping down, he's surfacing to look for me and the flag. And then we finally meet up and get back on our merry way. Basically the whole dive, the visibility really was this bad. The weed had come in, there was a huge sediment layer. But we continued on because Craig needed to spend some time in the water honing his skills. He's been certified for quite some time, but he hasn't dived for a long time. So it's not as easy as getting back on a bicycle. As we headed back to the shore, we did run into a patch of cleaner water where the visibility was around about the 3-meter mark. Our maximum depth on this dive was 6.7 meters. Total dive time was 26 minutes. The water was 23 degrees, same as yesterday, which is 73 degrees Fahrenheit. So that was slightly disappointing, but it was good, I guess, that Craig had a chance to get out and do some more skill practices, which is what you need to do if you want to be a good diver.
Stop letting garlic or crack the window with you.
But a dive is a dive. In anyone's book, is this dog going to move or are we just going to run him over?
He's too big to move.
I'm not going anywhere. Look at me. I'm slow. I'm tough. I'm not moving. Frightened of you. Go on, get out of it.
Off the road, dopey.